Hello, good people of YouTube, Mountbatten here, and today we're going to be talking about what I think is in store for the game in 2021. So, before we get into that, just a brief reminder that I do now have a Patreon set up, so if you want to support the channel, that is now the best place to go and do that, besides, of course, watching videos that I put up. I'm by no means a starving YouTuber or anything, just if you would like to help with some of the cost of reviewing all these premium ships, especially ships like the Paulo Emilio that cost me in excess of $200 to get, please go check out that link in the description down below. And the tiers are very affordable tiers if you do want to contribute. There are some that are a little bit higher if you do want to go that extra mile, but again, that's on you guys. Again, by no means am I a starving YouTuber or anything. If you just want to help with some of the financial cost of doing what I do, please check out the links in the description down below. And also, I'm not a CC, so I don't get any type of handouts or anything from Wargaming as well. All these ships that you see on the channel, I buy out of my own pocket to review for you guys. And again, I'm more than willing to do that, but if you'd like to help out, link is in the description down below. Anyway, so let's get on to 2021. So at the time of recording, October 14th, around 4:20 p.m., we have a pretty good idea of what the rest of 2020 is going to look like for World of Warships. We know that the next major thing to come out will be the Italian Battleships, and it's looking like maybe we might get the early access event right before the end of 2020. So these Italian Battleships are probably going to come out beginning of 2021-ish. But before that, we do have the American Battleship split. We're in part 1 of the event now. Part 2 starts with the next patch. So that's probably going to take us out of 2020, thank God. And then we, of course, will have the Snowflake event at the end of the year, like always. And then 2021 will begin, of course, with Italian Battleships being fully released sometime probably January-ish. But I do believe that after the Italian Battleships come out, we of course will be seeing submarines getting added to the game. I say submarines early 2021. I'd say the window for this is maybe January through March. I'll be betting more toward March because it's October, and we haven't heard from Wargaming about the next round of playtesting for submarines. We've only had one round of public playtesting for submarines, and this is a whole entire new class. It's not like the Sevia rework where the class was already in the game. They were just overhauling the class. This is an entirely new class of ships that were never meant to be in the game if you go back and read what Wargaming said about submarines in the past. So I think maybe March, unless they sneak in another round of playtesting before the end of 2020. And then I'll say maybe like February-ish if that testing goes well. And of course, with the release of a whole new class, we will probably see the next 2 months just dedicated mostly to balancing this new class, like we saw with the Sevia rework. If you were around for when the Sevia rework went live, good God, the next 3 to 4 months, it was mostly just a balancing fiasco of trying to hammer down the Sevia rework. And many would say it's still going on today. So for a very long time, we didn't get any major additions to the game. I mean, we got a couple premium ships here and there, and some new lines were announced, but most of that time we just set aside for trying to balance carriers. So I do think the same thing will happen with submarines. They have made a mini step in the right direction with submarines. If you would want to go watch my last video that covered subs with the ASW planes, the notification of being pinged, the periscope depth changes, all this stuff was, in my opinion, a good step in the right direction. But again, they have to test this stuff now. They haven't even done that yet. So I do think maybe early-ish 2021 for submarines. After submarines, however, I do think the next full line to get added to the game, again, full line, not a line split, would probably be some pan line. So either a Pan-American cruiser line, maybe a Pan-European cruiser line, Pan-American DD line, Pan-Asian cruiser line maybe. It is time to have cruisers again. We got the Pan-Euro DDs, and then we got the Soviet cruiser split, then we got the American BB split, and then German CVs, well, I'm sorry, German CVs, then the American BB split, and now we're getting Italian battleships. So yeah, it's coming back around to it's time for some more cruisers to get added to the game. So probably some, I would say maybe Pan-European cruisers would be next, but they did just add in the Pan-Euro DDs, so maybe Pan-Asian cruisers or Pan-American cruisers. We already have a Pan-Asian DD line, so a Pan-American cruiser line would be pretty cool to see. I mean, a lot of American, I'm talking mostly like South American countries, did have, of course, very large navies in the early 1900s. So I imagine like maybe up to tier 5, and if they did a Pan-American cruiser line, would probably be, you know, their own ships, and then after that would be kind of, you know, the hand-me-down ships from the US and the UK and all those ships that got sold off after World War II. So that'd be pretty interesting to see what they would do with that, if that is coming. Again, I'm going off of just my guessing here. I'm not going off of any type of any information or anything, because again, I'm not a CC for Wargaming, so I'm not privy to any information like that. So anyway, after that cruiser line, whatever it might be, I do believe we would probably get something along the lines of either French CVs, or then the hybrids would come out around this time, which now we're in like May, June-ish. So French CVs, I mean, why not? We already got German CVs, so, and you know, Germany didn't even have any CVs. The Graf Zeppelin never got finished in time, and France had, I believe, one CV during World War II. So let me Google that real quick. Yeah, they had one, and it was a converted Normandy class. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I remember reading that they had one CV during World War II, and yep, it was the Bern, I believe is how you say it. But anyway, yeah, they had one. I mean, shoot, Germany got a whole line with having one unfinished one. But yeah, the ship didn't do much during World War II. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, there's a reason you don't hear that the French had a single carrier during World War II very much. But anyway, yeah, like I was saying, the Germany had one incomplete CV. France actually had a completed CV, so why not? And this, again, would be one of the last CV lines you could make that some part of it actually existed. I mean, again, the Germans got one with just the Graf Zeppelin being incomplete, so if anyone deserves to be worthy of a CV line next, it would be the French. So after the French CVs would come out, I would think that maybe that's when the hybrids would come out, or the hybrids would come out before the French CVs, just depending upon, you know, what's given priority. And the hybrids are premium ships, so, you know, it wouldn't be like this big ordeal with them coming out, although again, it is kind of a big ordeal, but it's, you know, it's not a whole new line big ordeal. And then after the hybrids come out, if they are successful, I do think at this point, this is when Wargaming would start to release premium submarines. So I think this is when we would start to get ships like the Surkov, that French submarine cruiser monstrosity with an actual turret on top of it. So I do think that ship would come out. And then I do believe a little ship called the I-400 would get released. And that was the Japanese submarine aircraft carriers. I mean, Slava got released, so why can't these things exist? And I'm sure Wargaming has already looked into it, because again, by this point, we're now in late July, early August. Submarines should have been out for some time by now. Again, just going off of my guesstimations. So I-400 would be pretty interesting to see an aircraft carrier submarine, but again, it's not like it could carry a whole flight deck worth of planes. I think it could only carry in the neighborhood of like 5. Yeah, it could only carry 3 planes anyway, so it's not like it's going to be, you know, a Hakuru that can submerge. So it'd be interesting to see them get added to the game. And again, these were actually some of the biggest submarines built until nuclear submarines got developed. Then after that comes out, I do believe we would probably see another Pan line, probably either Pan-American BBs or Pan-European BBs, Pan-Asian BBs maybe. Again, at this point, you know, they can kind of make up whatever they want to with paper ships. That, or perhaps we would see maybe another battleship line split. This time maybe with the Germans or with the... I don't think they'd split the Soviet BB line this soon. Maybe with the Japanese, they maybe have like a continuation of the Amagi design, so we keep getting a bigger Amagi instead of getting the Yami, something like that. And then I do believe we would maybe, I would hope we would get the following and that is battle cruisers in the form of BB line splits. So you would have the British battleship line, but maybe it would split around tier 6 or tier 7, and you would have a battle cruiser line. Since they seem reluctant to put an actual battle cruiser class in the game, they could do it in the form of a line split. You do this with the American line as well. Split it at, let's say, around tier 8 and have the Lexington battle cruisers, and then go up to tier 9 and tier 10. Same with the French as well. I think that would be really, really, really cool if they could pull that off. And then finally, to wrap up 2021, I would think maybe we would have a German or a Japanese cruiser split. Since all these other cruiser lines are getting split into light and heavy cruisers, it would make sense that the German and Japanese cruisers would get this treatment as well. Again, maybe split the lines. Well, most of them are splitting around tier 7 or tier 8, either way. So split it there. Split the line into light and heavy cruisers. I think that'd be pretty cool. So, again, guys, this is just my predictions for 2021. Going off of just how things went in 2020 and from playing World of Warships for so long. But who knows? I mean, 2020 was a roller coaster of a year for the game. So who knows what's really in store for 2021. But again, this is just what I think would happen in 2021 and some of what I would like to see happen in 2021. I'd very much like to see battle cruisers getting added into the game in a proper way rather than being shoehorned into this super cruiser role or still just kind of given the battleship role like the Hood did get. So, I would like to see a proper battle cruiser line, be it in a line split or an actual line or an actual class. That would be pretty cool. And like a Pan-American cruiser line or a Pan-European cruiser line, I would really like to see that as well. Anyway, guys, this is what I think is in store for 2021. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think is in store for 2021? Do you think it's going to be good for the game? Bad for the game? I think at the end of the day, only Wargaming knows what's in store for 2021, and they're being pretty tight-lipped about it so far. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to go check out the Patreon. Link is in the description down below. Hope you're all having a wonderful Thursday. And the winner for the giveaway announced last week has been chosen. I did message them. I'm just waiting to hear back from them. Once they reply, I will go ahead and make the announcement as to who won the Tier 9 Premium Ship giveaway announced last week. Thank you all so very much for entering, and thank you for the continued support. Again, guys, hope you have a wonderful Thursday. I hope to catch you guys in the next one.